Hello and welcome to Riverland Women, the podcast which celebrates the amazing achievements and inspiring stories of women across South Australia's Riverland. I'm your host, Kerry Lush from the podcast station. I'm a freelance writer, podcast host and coach, and I'm a former ABC radio broadcaster. Join me each week as we meet some of the extraordinary women who call this region home. This is Riverland Women. If it wasn't for a stroke of luck, which led to Abbey Richards' dad winning a raffle prize, her career path might have taken a completely different turn. Fast forward to today, and Abbey is now the manager of Riverland Fitness Centre in Berri and Loxton. And last year, she also launched her own venture, Real AF Coaching, which focuses on nutrition and mindset, both online and in person. But Abbey says she really did fall into the fitness industry.
My dad won a 3-month membership for Vitality and Renmark back when it was there, and I knew he wasn't going to use it. So yeah, I asked if I could use it. I still remember the first time I went to the gym and it fell off the treadmill. It was like the most embarrassing thing ever. But yeah, kept going back, and yeah, I was just like, I think I want to do this. And then yeah, my year 9 PE teacher at the time sort of knew that I had a bit of an inkling of wanting to be in whether it was the fitness industry or something just to do. I knew that I just liked helping people, whether it was like with physical activity or just, I don't know, just being more confident within themselves with whatever they were doing. There was an opening, it was called Fitness Evolutions, and they were looking for a student to work there, and Campo gave them my name, and yeah, that's where it started in year 9, I think, yeah, so a long time ago now.
So you got back on that treadmill after falling off and went from there. So tell us a bit about how did that progress through school from that first part-time job?
During school, it was pretty tough because I was getting up at 5 a.m. every day to be at the gym by 5:30, take the 6 and 7 a.m. class, and then be back home to go to school at 8:45. So that was pretty crazy. But I think especially when you're in school, I think the fitness industry just seems a bit of a cool job to be in. Like everyone thinks working at a gym or living in active wear will be kind of cool. And it was definitely a different industry back then to what it is now. But yeah, just did that until I was out of school. So yeah, I was there through year 9, 10 and 11. I had other jobs as well, as I was a Macca's girly and also worked at Sports Power. And then the owner of the gym at the time brought it to my attention that he was going to sell it. And I remember that day clear as hell, because at that time, my clients that I had and the gym was just like my life, even knowing it was still quite part-time. Like I just loved everyone that was there. I loved the vibe. I loved everything that I was doing. And yeah, I was only 19 and yeah, just spent the day crying, and then went to Mum and I was like, I've got savings, I'm going to buy it because I don't know what else to do. And then yeah, within I think maybe like 2 months, switched it over, changed the name, and then it turned into Absolute Fitness, and that's sort of where it began. It's changed and everything I do now has changed a lot, but that was the very beginning.
How daunting was that? How old were you?
19, yeah, very, very, very daunting. Had absolutely fucking no idea what I was doing. Like, oh my God, just went in there absolutely blind. I was in the actual gym myself, like, from sunrise, like even before that, 4 a.m. till like midnight, painting, trying to get things done, changing everything up, trying to work out what the heck I was going to do. But everyone was really supportive, like I said. That's why I wanted to stay there. I feel like we're very lucky in the Riverland. It was like, it's not just kind of like a gym, it was a community and my family, and I still have members from Absolute Fitness now that have followed me to wherever I've gone. So that's like 12 years. Oh my God, I'm not going to maths, but something like that. It was full on, and that is why it wasn't my like sort of the be all and end all of my fitness journey, because I was only there for 18 months, I think, before I knew that I was just taking on too much by myself. It wasn't the right time. Yeah, it just wasn't working out. And I knew I needed a change, which then led to, where I am now, I guess.
Did you have some business mentors, or was there someone that you looked up to and, threw ideas against to learn how to run it? I mean, I know you'd been in the industry a while, but still having your own business is a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah, not really. And that's where I think I went wrong. So the guy I was working under at the time, I think definitely had a different outlook than I did. And kind of after the switch over of the business, we didn't really speak again. There was no bad terms, but he had other dreams and he went and did those. So I was definitely on my own, and that's where I struggled. And it was very hard to find qualified trainers to get any help, especially majority of them, like I had only just finished my qualification, so a lot of them were older than me and didn't really want to work for a 19-year-old female, which was a bit tough. Or I did get some younger ones, but they were just so unreliable, and that was really, really hard. Like you were just working ridiculous hours. I got a few trainers there towards the end, and that made it a lot easier. But again, in the fitness industry, when you're running a gym, like there was no full-time hours available. So I had a couple hours of classes here and there for them, which totally understandable isn't suitable for some people's lifestyles. So yeah, it honestly was just what felt good, what felt right, what my members were enjoying. And yeah, it did work and everything was really well. Like for a 19-year-old, like financially and everything like that, I was living my best life, but mentally I knew that I was not as happy as I could be and things weren't going great. And I'm glad that I realized it when I did, because I would not be where I am now and be the person I am at the moment. But no business mentor. Highly recommend not doing that.
So what did you do? Did you shut it down? Did you sell it? What was your next step?
So that didn't go very well either. So it was all lined up basically to hand over and be sold, and that fell through last minute. So again, went in there. I think I actually was having celebration drinks with friends when I got the message of it all falling through, because it wasn't done behind anyone else but ourselves. So we were kind of just doing the handover between the two of us. And then it was like 9 o'clock, probably a cocktail or two deep, had to go in and price everything up. And then it was just an open garage sale the following day. So I didn't sleep. I just priced everything up. And then the next morning, I think I said I was opening at 8 a.m, like no early birds or those things that you say, and there were people there at 6 a.m. wanting to get in, and it honestly ended up kind of working out better, and the place itself was just leased, so that was still handed over. But then I was just out of there by that weekend and haven't been back.
What came next?
Then I built a little studio in my rental, so we were lucky enough at the time I had a little sunroom out the back, and just kept enough equipment to be able to take one-on-one PTs there whilst I was thinking about what I wanted to do. I actually did have a full-time dental job lined up. I made sure I had that job kind of lined up before I closed the gym, and then that fell through as well. So it was a good time. So anyway, just stuck with doing the one-on-ones in the back of my house until I sort of worked out what I wanted to do. And then one day, Chris, who is the owner of Riverland Fitness Centre, messaged me and was just like, hey, do you want to catch up for coffee? And I had no idea where that was leading to, but he just wanted me to run some casual boxing classes at the gym, which I started doing, which was pretty cool, and then took over their social media and then was taking some more classes. And then, quite quickly, he grasped me full time, and then I haven't looked back.
How'd you keep yourself going through that time? That sounds pretty horrific.
It was really hard. And at the time, I think when it came to, I guess the talk around mental health and knowing if you are okay and things like that, wasn't as big. So I don't think I was okay. And at the time I was just like, oh, you're just tired, or it's just hard, you'll be fine, like move on, get over it. Right. If I was to feel that way now, or if I knew anyone going through it now, I'd definitely take different steps. But I guess I just did get through it, not in the easiest way. I'm pretty stubborn and pretty motivated in my own way. So I guess that just got me through. But I definitely know there were days where I was struggling, to know that I had a big list of clients or something that I need to get to. I guess that kind of pushes you as well. There's always someone dependent on you. Kind of easier to let yourself down than let someone else down. So it's not like if I didn't show up to work that day, that I would just be disappointed. There'd be 10 people that were kind of going to be disappointed as well. So I guess that always had me going. But it definitely was not easy. If I look back to one of the hardest times, it was for sure those few years that, they were, and it was weird because it was so many emotions, so much success and excitement, but at the same time, I had never mentally felt more drained or sad or confused and overwhelmed. So it was pretty full on.
Would have been pretty lonely too, I guess, going through that yourself. Did you have support?
When I was closing the gym, that was also going through a pretty cray breakup as well. So that was another one to throw in the mix. But once I was closing the gym, I still had Sam on board at the time, and who is my now partner. So I did have him, and 100% if I didn't have him, it would have been 10 times harder. I feel like that was kind of the shining light. as cliche as it might sound, I feel like you go through everything for a reason. And if that first gym and going through everything that I did, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have met him. And yeah, I wouldn't change that for the world. So I'm with all the hardship that came with it, something even better came out of it. So yeah, I had him, and then that friendship grew into a relationship, and he was definitely my rock through a lot of that, and is still now.
So what have you stepped out into? I've been watching social media for a while now. Explain what you're doing and how it works.
So even when I was like in the gym and everything, I feel like a lot of people's first fitness journey does stem from whatever it is. It could be your relationship with food, relationship with yourself, body image issues and everything like that. And that's always been my biggest passion and my biggest drive to make some sort of a change there. And obviously working in a gym, great. I love being there, love the atmosphere, love helping people better themselves and seeing people in the morning, in the afternoon, whatever they're doing. Everyone's always in there for a positive reason, or they're doing something positive for themselves. But I've always known there's a bigger message behind it. And I guess at the gym, we don't necessarily cover that on more of a personal level or look at it into that sense, I guess. So I kind of just wanted to put my own touch on it. And I have thought about it so many times, and I've even, like I said, Chris is so supportive, spoken to him about it, but it's definitely kind of like a different vibe to what we do just as a gym when it's classes, strength training, like just having a 24/7 gym and stuff like that. So I basically work, I have a few different things, obviously social media, that's just, trying to share and help people, educate people in how to just clean up their health in the kitchen or their daily habits, lifestyle, things like that. I'm a big advocate for just the small differences daily can make a massive difference in your life. But stepped out into one-on-one coaching now and just work with people, whether they do have like a weight loss goal, weight gain goal, maintenance goal, just learning about food and how to eat a balanced diet. As I spoke about before, the industry has evolved massively, and it's a really exciting thing because it is going in the right direction. I think like there's so much more education about like how there are different bodies and how different bodies work, and we're not all going to be the same and look a certain way. And and I just feel like it all does come down to the person themselves working on their mindset and their relationship with who they are. Social media is always going to be there. Stereotypes are always going to be there. The judgment's always going to be there. So until you sort of form that relationship with yourself, it's always going to get to you. So I guess that's probably something that I work on with my clients. It's grown faster than I could have kind of kept up with and imagined, but it's been amazing. It's been a crazy year. But it's been really exciting, and knowing that you're just making a difference in an area that you struggled with yourself for so long has been, it's been really, really rewarding.
I was going to ask, have you always been, really on top of nutrition as well as the training, or is that something that's evolved over time?
Definitely evolved, and that is probably the biggest thing that scares me. There is so much misinformation out there, and it's not because people want to make the wrong decisions or don't care. They're just uneducated, which is really hard. And it's kind of like you don't know where to put your finger on it in the beginning. Do you grab it when they're kids? Do you grab it when they're mid-teens? I look back into like when I went to school and in PE, it was kind of learning the pyramid and talking about BMI. And the first day of PE, I think every person in the class had to jump on the scales. And as a child, that's so degrading and it's not right. And I think, just trying to spread the message of trying to, I guess, change the message around, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm trying to say now. I feel like I'll get emotional. But I definitely haven't always been on top of nutrition. 2 years ago now, I did my certificate in sports nutrition, which was a great step in the door. Definitely don't want to focus more on the sports side of it because that's a lot more technical, but there is just so much diet culture out there, and whatever it might be, vegetarian, keto, low fat, high fat, there's so many out there, and while none of them are wrong, you don't need to be following anything like that. I think my biggest passion is just being able to teach people that they can live a healthy lifestyle, eat the foods that they love by just being a little bit more aware, move their body a little bit. You don't need to be going to the gym or doing any crazy insane exercises. Like if you love that, definitely go for it. But just taking that pressure of what you have to do and what you've always been told that you need to do, and just working out what works for you and what actually makes you happy, because at the end of the day, that's something that you'll stick to. And if you're not enjoying it, you won't. I
don't know if it's just my algorithm or whether it's the industry in general, but on social media, it seems like things have changed so much from, say, your Jenny Craig's, your Michelle Bridges' 12-week transformation and all of those sorts of things, to some of what I see as more popular, maybe influencers or trainers or whatever, normalising things a bit more. Is that just what I'm seeing, or is that an industry-wide thing?
Yeah, as I said, I definitely think that the industry is evolving in a good way. Some people really have it in their best interest that they want to make a change and they want to help people. Other people are just trying to make a quick buck. So it kind of just depends what you're following. But social media is so brilliant and so scary in so many ways. And I think if you find your people and you find the people that you relate with and that you can feel good about yourself and learn something from, and you stick to that, like stick to focusing on those things rather than, because you'll still see it, like those 8-week shred things or the 4-week challenges or whatever. And like if they work for you and like having a goal that's a set amount of time or whatnot, like great, go for it. But for myself, I definitely think focusing more on changing your lifestyle and your habits and actually educating yourself, because like any of us can probably jump on a 4-week challenge and drop a quick 5 kilos, and then the next 5 weeks we're going to put it back on, if not more. But so it's just finding what works for you. But I definitely do think the industry is following more of that less restrictive and more accepting of everyone's different lifestyles, which is great. But there's still a long way to go. So I guess I'm just trying to do my bit, because it's a pretty touchy subject, and there's a lot of ways that you can say or do the wrong thing. So you just have to just do what you got to do. The people that love what you do will stick by you. And I hope I can just make a change in the areas that I know that I struggled with once and was so uneducated in. Oh my God, the things that I've done in the past, I wouldn't even want to make a list. But so I just want to help people that literally were where I was one day, having no idea. Because you just see something that's like, $69.95 for this 6-week challenge that will change your life. And you're like, cool, that's what I need. But it's just either restricting or not educating whatsoever. And then after that 6 weeks, you're kind of just left on your own.
I've noticed with your training over the past couple of years as well, you've had some pretty big things on and a bit of a change in direction with bodybuilding. Tell us a bit about how that all came about and what's involved in it.
That was definitely never on my to-do list. I definitely wanted to learn about it because it's obviously a massive, massive, massive thing in the industry. And there's so many myths, so many truths. There's just so much going on about it. And I had clients coming to me, whether they wanted to compete or wanted to know about it. And I honestly couldn't give them much information. And I feel like with anything, no matter how many courses, no matter what you learn, unless you kind of experience something yourself, you don't know the full extent of it. And actually my partner, Sam, he had always wanted to do one, and he is genetically built like a freak. So it's a sport that's made for him. Others of us, not so much, me being one of them. I am not my happiest when I am my leanest and things like that. But he wanted to have a challenge together, and I was like, you just got to do it. Like, just go for it. And then he turned around, he's like, will you do it with me? And I was like, shit. What have I gotten myself into? And we just did it. I love a challenge. I didn't know what to expect at the start, and I was like, hey, cool. I love the gym. I'm into my nutrition. I'm not too phased about what I need to do. If someone gives me the homework, I'll get it done. So got myself a coach literally like the next day, and then we went about it. But it was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Absolutely had. You obviously know that the dieting is going to come with it. The gym wasn't too tough, but the emotional, the hormonal side, and again, it's very hard to explain to someone that hasn't been through it, but it was full on. And they always do say your first comp's always your hardest, because again, you're not prepared for what's going to happen. It was an awesome thing to do together, and it will always probably be at the top of our list of one of the hardest things we got through together. But there's a lot of things that come from that you wouldn't expect as a couple, especially. Even with my friends, like, oh my God, social events were really hard. Not just because obviously like the food side of thing kind of gets easier, like whatever, you have to eat quite strictly, but your emotions are so, you're so detached from everything that's going on around you. We went to a few weddings and we had to leave them early. And it's funny because people would sit there and say, because obviously whatever, you have that lean aesthetic physique that people tend to love, and you would get so many comments on what you look like. And then for us, all we can think of is would be driving home, me probably in tears and Sam quite emotional, because we're like, oh, we've just missed out on the rest of the night with our mates because we've committed to this thing and we're going to get it done. But it was really, really tough. And even as a couple, like, you're so different. We have a very sarcastic, fun relationship, but oh my God, there were like days you wouldn't talk just because you didn't have the energy. And to throw it in the mix, even my car got stolen while we were in the middle of prep, and like I literally just like got out, noticed that it was gone, and went back to bed because you just had no reactions to anything. It's like, oh, okay, car's gone, bugger. The end product was awesome, and that was a thrill and everything like that. But yeah, it was brutal. Awesome experience. Glad I did it. It's definitely not like my passion. Whether I see us doing it in the future or not is definitely not set in stone at all. I'm a lot happier with where I am now and what I'm learning, what I'm doing, and I just feel like it doesn't really fit into what I want to bring to the world and what I want to educate now. But it was a cool thing to do.
So it mucks around with hormones and mental health and that sort of thing because of the strict sort of diet or calorie deficit, or sounds really fascinating.
Yeah, definitely the hormonal imbalance. Your bodies are not made to be that lean. They're not made to be eating at that low of a calorie intake. It is purely for a sport. You are getting up there trying to look as lean as you can and basically get your body fat down. And it's actually quite funny because when I was in that last 10 weeks and at my leanest that I've ever been, I think I got, before I had taken on the business venture I have now, I think I got the most inquiries for PTs and people wanting to work with me ever. And I stopped taking on clients because I knew that they were coming to me for the wrong reasons. And I think that was probably one of the reasons I'm so happy that I did it, because now I can speak for myself. Like, I was my most miserable that I probably ever have been whilst doing the things that I love, like my work. You are so tired, like getting up in the morning. Like, I remember trying to get like our steps at the end of the day and you couldn't, like you were just tripping on your feet because you were that tired. And yeah, people look at that and it's aesthetically pleasing, but they need to understand that that is for a sport. There is not one part of the body that wants to live like that. Your sex drive will go, your hormones are completely not there. You don't really want to be around people. The energy that you have is to get your workout done and get through the day. And that is pretty much all you've got to give, and it's purely because you're not fueling your body. And like I said, it's part of the sport, and there is such a cool thing behind it as well. And like the people that obviously take it as a career, it's all evidence-based, and there's a lot of structure behind it and science and counting and numbers and things like that. It's not just, oh my God, don't eat. You're still eating at certain times of the day, you're weighing your food, you're getting it all in and things like that. So it's not just like starving yourself, but you are in a ridiculous calorie deficit. Like, the whole sport is reducing your body fat as much as you can. Your hormones are controlled by your fat. So if you're not eating too many of them, you're going to be pretty miserable. And it doesn't bang back as soon as you get off stage either. Like, it's what they call their reverse diet, and it's pretty full on. You'll face body dysmorphia. Like, I remember we went on a holiday straight after our comp and we were both still extremely lean, and we like struggled to look at ourselves because we just felt like we'd completely changed and look so different. So yeah, it's a real mental battle and a full-on thing. And yeah, if you're in it for the right reasons, and a really awesome sport, and it's crazy what the body is capable of and can do. But if you're just trying to get that lean for an aesthetic reason because you think you'll be happy, I can tell you right now that you won't be.
How long was that whole process, the training and then the, I don't know what you call decompressing afterwards, returning to normal?
So everyone's different, and we kind of just jumped in it. Like, we've trained anyway, so it's pretty funny because people were just like, oh, I want to do a comp, and like, you're in prep all the time. Like, for instance, if we wanted to do another comp, like, we're in prep now. You're training, you're everyday eating, everything, whether you're in a surplus, maintenance or a deficit phase, you're always in training. And we had been training for quite a few years beforehand. So we kind of had the muscle mass there. So you can obviously always improve on that, but we didn't need to start from square one. So when we jumped into it, it was October, and we were like, yep, we want to jump in the next comp. Like, I'm pretty spontaneous, and Sam was already pretty much ready. He was just going to go into a bit of a bulk. So it started from that day. So for myself, for women, it's a lot harder to lose weight. So I went straight into the cut phase. So I was cutting for 34 weeks. So that is, being in it. And to put that into perspective, if I had a client that came to me with a weight loss goal, you'd probably put them in a dieting phase for maybe 8 to 12 weeks, like max, and it wouldn't be this harsh. Times that by 4. Sam was in a bulk to begin with, which some people kind of look at and like, oh, that would be fun, but having to force feed yourself to get a certain amount of energy in through the day is just as like brutal. And then he was probably in a cut for 15 weeks of it. And then you go on stage. We did 2 shows, so we did one show and then had another 2 weeks in between, which was really hard. I still remember getting off stage the first comp, and I called my coach and I was like, I am not doing this, like, this is too hard, like, rah. And then after a bit of a, you can do it, we got back out there, and I'm glad we did. Brisbane was really cool. And then, like I said, we went straight into a holiday, absolutely followed no reverse, which I would not recommend. And because your body's basically in shock because you have been eating at such a low volume, you will like put on weight quite fast. And again, to put that into perspective for people that do these ridiculous challenges or weight loss shakes and things like that, this is why the weight comes back so fast, because your body does get used to eating at a low volume of food. So then if you go back to your normal ways, it's going to go into shock and just store that food quite quickly. You're meant to introduce calories at a slower rate, which we did not. You live and you learn. But yeah, so all up, it was a good 5 months.
Wow. How was it getting up on stage and doing those poses and putting on a lot of fake tan?
It was actually quite funny because between Sam and I'm probably more of the extrovert. He's the introvert, but come to stage, he owned the stage and he loved it up there and did so well. I remember like just walking out there in less clothes than you kind of wear anywhere and in heels, and just looking at, because you've done it a million times in front of your posing coach and in front of your coach and in front of your mirror, but not in front of like 500 people and this panel of judges just staring you down. And I was just like, oh shit. But yeah, no, it was an experience, and you obviously work so hard to be up there. I definitely don't think I took the time to enjoy the Adelaide one as much as I did. And I knew that after I got off stage, and I was like, you know what, come Brisbane, I don't want to put any pressure on myself. I just want to go out there and have a blast. And then yeah, Brisbane was a lot more enjoyable. But yeah, it's pretty full on. You just have these eyes staring you up and down, and the judges don't show emotion. The crowd can cheer for you, so that was nice, and you can hear your friends and family yelling out your name. But yeah, for me, the Adelaide experience was really overwhelming. But then yeah, Brisbane was a bit of a nice way to finish off, so I'm really glad we did the 2 shows.
So obviously a bodybuilding comp isn't high on your list of future plans again, but what is next for Abbey Richards?
Definitely focusing more on my business, obviously, and like my work with Chris. Like I love Riverland Fitness Centre. I love what we've built there. But for me, it really is just spreading the message that I'm so passionate about now, and just knowing that people really can live a happy, healthy and balanced lifestyle without the restriction, without the missing out on events, and literally sitting at home feeling really, really sorry for yourself, and just it's such a hard thing, the relationship with yourself and the relationship with your body, and I know it is, and I feel it so deeply, and it's so close to me. So trying to help people navigate that and navigate through it. It's not an overnight thing. Like you can't just wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what, I'm going to love myself. But there are things that you can do every single day to work on that. And quite often I'll get a client come to me and they'll be like, yep, like, and majority of the time it is like, yep, I want to lose weight. And I'm like, you know what, cool. Like we're going to work on this. There's so much more to that, because, and it's something that I work with all my clients on, is learning to love yourself and where you are right now. Because I promise you, and I can say this quite confidently, that there's never going to be a number on the scales or a size of clothing or an image that you see back in the mirror staring at you that you are going to fall in love with yourself completely over. It's like, it's a journey that you just need to start right now. Like today, like change something, change the way you speak to yourself, change the way that you, I don't know, the way that you spend your mornings. If you feel like you're getting up in the morning and not doing something to serve your day, or you're going to bed with a really negative mindset, like that's another thing we're so big on. Every single day you have a win. Every single day you're doing something great. It might not be the entire day, but you have a win in every day. And I think I just want to build my business up around that. Keeping my one-on-one coaching, I love that, but I definitely want to build something more that I can help more people, because there is only one of me. So I can only have a certain amount of clientele with that. But yeah, just really trying to help people in knowing that they really can just live their life without worrying about what size they are, how much weight they want to lose, what weight they want to get to, what they look like 5 years ago. Because when we can move past that mindset and really just be fucking in love with who we are, there is another side. And if anyone that is listening to this or sees the stuff that I post and they're like, oh yeah, whatever, like it doesn't mean every day you wake up and you're like, yeah, I'm a queen, like I've got this. It's some days you wake up and you do feel a bit shit, but it's, you have the mindset and the tools to be able to be like, yeah, cool, whatever, I'm still going to go about my day. I still love who I am. We're just going to shake it off and we're still going to go out and like kill the day. Because when you can control that mindset and have control over your thoughts of yourself and the way that you speak about yourself, like your whole life literally can change. And again, I feel like that sounds so cliche, but I can't push how important that is, and how much more you will enjoy events, family time, getting dressed, going shopping, all of those things that life brings with all of that joy. They won't be so scary and feeling all that pressure. So just trying to create ways to minimize that and help people be happier with themselves.
How did you get to that point?
Yeah, though I guess over the last 12 years, because I 100% was not in, even when I was working in the industry and still preaching those things, I still look back at like, how old would have I been? Oh my God, like 15-year-old me. And I definitely came from a place of, I hit the body image issues, I feel like maybe end of primary school all through high school. And when it first hit you just don't know what's going on. Like, you're just like, this one time you don't care, you're just a kid and you get dressed and you go to school, and then you start picking at your clothes and you start moving your body around, and then you've got an event and you're like, oh, well, maybe I won't eat lunch today, or maybe I won't do these, and you don't notice it, and then it becomes such a big part of your life that all you're thinking about is everything that you put in your mouth, the clothes that you put on. Oh my God, we've got a family holiday coming up, like I want to wear a bikini, like I need to look like this. And that like overtook my life for, like I said, all of my high school. So when I got out and I was more like the fitness industry was my career and I was going that way, I was like, I cannot be attaining this mindset and then trying to help other people not have this mindset. So it was a lot of self-work, working on myself, courses, big advocate for therapy, just working on myself every single day, doing the things that I tell my clients when you're waking up and having a shitty day. And I think, again, as silly as it sounds, really picture yourself talking to someone else or a younger you. And then basically I think it's the things that we all know and tell ourselves, like, I don't want to wake up in 10 years and that I look like I do now. And I don't want to wake up tomorrow and wish like I looked like I did when I was on stage. Like, and maybe because I've been there, maybe because I've been at my leanest and received all the compliments, like I am so much more confident and happy right now than I was on that stage. And I can say that with like no bullshit behind it. Like, and to be at both ends of the spectrum. And I've been uneducated and had zero knowledge and followed every diet and gone for all of these crazy exercise schemes and just worked myself into the ground and still wasn't happy. So I've just, taken on all these mindsets and just put into place everything that I know that can help other people. But you can't preach it if you're not doing it. And like I said, it seems silly, but it just takes that one day to wake up and be like, you know what, I'm going to be kinder to myself now, today, and then I'm going to try and do it tomorrow and the next day. And when you start doing that, and then you might only do it 3 days of 1 week, and then you might fall back into a bit of a cycle, and then you're going to break out of it again and keep going. But if you adopt those habits, I don't know how many, what do they say? I think they say it takes 64 days for a habit to turn into, like, you just do it no matter what. So when you just start adopting these things. But I definitely think it's what you put out into the world as well. Like, you kind of can't work on yourself if then you're being really negative towards other people. Like, I really try and turn any situation that is quite negative, I try and find a positive in whatever it might be. And I do believe that there always is some form of some happiness or some positive in whatever's going on in life. And if you just do that about yourself, like, I don't know, I just don't want to be hating on myself for the rest of my life. Like, why would you? Like, I've been there, and it's a horrible place to be, and it's sad, and you're literally with yourself for the rest of your life. Like, why would you want to be fighting against them for the whole time? So just a lot of mindset work, but you got to be willing to put in the work too. Like, if you're uneducated on yourself, get yourself a coach. If you feel like you need to talk to someone, go and talk to someone. Like, you have every right to go and seek help. If you feel like you need to go on a retreat, go on a retreat. Like, I feel like we hold back from these things, whether it's time, money, taking time off work. Like I said, you are living with yourself for the rest of your life. If you feel like there's some steps you need to take to better yourself or to be happier or to improve your life. And it could be down to things, relationships that people stay in, friendships that people stay in, jobs that people stay in that are not serving them, that are not making them happy. And it's not just eating right and exercising. Like, there is so much more to it. I think when I just realized what I wanted to do, what I wanted to say, who I wanted to be, and just started being that person, I flipped my life around, really.
That's amazing. You're inspirational. Thank you very much for having a chat to me, Abbey, on Riverland Women.
You're so welcome. It was good to chat.
That was Abbey Richards from Berri. You can follow Abbey on Instagram at RealAF Coaching or through Riverland Fitness Centre. And of course, you can follow the Riverland Women podcast on Facebook and Instagram, and also the podcast station on the same platforms. I'd love it if you could subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. Thanks for listening to Riverland Women.